Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How you all doing? I'm doing pretty good for a Monday, for Wednesday. I keep saying Monday. I don't know why. Meniere's disease. That's kind of what I do right now when something's wrong. I do something wrong. I go Meniere's disease. But let's get on to something a little bit more serious. I really do hope you have a great week. But how many times do we hear things that really just aggravate us? Okay. Um, you know, you're talking to somebody and you tell them you have Meniere's disease and it causes vertigo and tinnitus and all this stuff. They go, "Oh, I get vertigo. I had it once and it went away." Well, they mistaken vertigo for being off balance. Everybody gets off balance from time to time. Or, they think because when they get up and they're sitting down or they're on their knees, they get up and the room spins for a minute that they have vertigo. It is a type of vertigo, I guess, but it's your blood pressure, and they think that's vertigo. They don't have what we have. But they try to say, "Oh, I had that once, and I'm fine. Why aren't you fine?" No, because I have Meniere's disease. The other thing is, oh, you get invited someplace and like, "Oh, I'm not feeling good today. I really can't." And they say, "Oh, well, you were fine yesterday or 2 days ago." Well, yeah, that was 2 days ago. It's like if I got a cold, it's like 2 days ago I was fine. Today I've got a cold. It happens. Meniere's, 2 days later you can have Meniere's attack. You can have vertigo. And they don't seem to get that. Or they try to tell you, well, if you go outside and do something, you'll be fine. No. Or the best one is they give you a list of things to take. They have no idea what Meniere's is. They have no idea what vertigo is, never mind Meniere's. But they're giving you a whole list of how to change the way you eat and take these supplements and all this stuff. And you're like, none of this is going to help me. I already do half of it. They're trying to be helpful, but they're not. And we tend to get aggravated. And one thing I would say when people do that now is, hey, thanks, but I do most of that already. So thanks for trying to help. Um, or it's all in your head. Really? It is? Sometimes now when somebody says that to me, like at a family reunion, somebody said Meniere's disease is all in your head. And I went, what? And they went, because somebody else was asking me about it. Yeah, it's all in your head. If you just did something, you'd be fine. Well, technically, it is in my head. And two, you have no idea what you're talking about. Watch my videos. You'll find out. So yeah, we can get these things that people say things to us that are very aggravating. And the real aggravating part is when it comes into your family. When it's people from your family. And the thing is that you got to understand, they don't understand what you're going through. And you don't understand what they're going through with you. Because see, the other thing is that we want people to be compassionate to us and kind to us and have mercy, right? But we need to show that to them too, because their lives are changing too. See, a lot of people think that, oh, well, my life changed and everything's ruined and it sucks. No, you got to understand, their life is changing too, because they're not going to be able to do what you want them to do, what they want to do. Okay. They want to take you on a vacation. You're probably not going to want to go. You want to take you out for, a night on the town. You probably don't want to go because you're afraid you're going to get an attack or you have an attack or you're in an attack. So their lives are changing just as much as yours. You don't seem to understand that. And yes, before somebody says anything, Dave, you don't understand. My husband's mean. My wife is mean. I get that. Okay. I'm not saying everybody's perfect, but there's probably about a good chunk of us that tend to make our spouses out to be the devil when they're really not. And the thing is they don't understand what you're going through, and you don't understand what they're going through. Okay. In the beginning of my disease, my wife didn't know what I was going through. Hell, I didn't really understand what I was going through. She didn't understand. And she would say something, and I would snap at her, and then we'd start fighting, and then the fights would go on for days, and this and that and the other thing. And we never fought like that our whole marriage until that day, till that time. I mean, we'd fight, but it would last like 5 minutes, and then we'd be happy again. But this was going on for weeks, and and then finally she had decided to research, join some groups, read Glenn Schweitzer's book, um, talk to my friend Gina, who was helping me through many years in the beginning, Gina Santana, and then she started going to some doctor's appointments, and then she finally kind of got it, but she still kind of forgets. You know, I've been dealing with this since 2014, diagnosed in 2017, and okay, what's that? 8 years, 8 years, and my wife still doesn't seem to understand sometimes. Like, we get tired, right? So I'll go take a nap after lunch sometimes, and she goes, "Ah, you taking a nap? Ah, did you enjoy your nap?" Let's just say it like that. And she's trying to be funny. She's not really being mean per se, but I know deep down inside she's sitting there going, "Oh my God, he's sleeping again. My God, he's sleeping again." And she doesn't get it. And then I got to kind of, honey, my brain gets tired and this and that and the other thing. It's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing, it's a brain thing. So, yeah, even 8 years later, she still doesn't kind of get it all that well. And it's the same thing with me with her because she's got her own issues. A lot of people think, our spouses and partners aren't sick or don't have their own issues. They do. Okay. My wife has bipolar. Okay. She's bipolar. She just found out like 2 years ago. So her lives have changed too. I don't really understand a lot of it. And I understand depression because I suffer from it too. And anxiety, I suffer from it too. But I don't understand the peaks and valleys and what else goes on with it. Um, and I don't, and I know that's why sometimes she doesn't want to go out of the house. But I kind of go, get the hell out of here. And then she goes back happy. Okay. Um, but I still ask her questions. I mean, last night I asked her if she still hears, does she hear voices? She said, no, that's something with schizophrenia. And she started explaining it to me. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was just curious. I mean, they just, I know bipolar is peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. And there's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. I don't understand it, but I try to. And I don't take it out on her. I don't yell at her about it. So sometimes we really don't think of our partners that much because we too busy thinking about ourselves. So maybe we shouldn't really think about ourselves constantly. Think about how the other person feels. Just like if you didn't have a disease. If you didn't have the disease, you'd probably still be fighting with your spouse about something. Like sometimes we just, we do use this disease as kind of like a scapegoat. Like I said in the beginning, I did something wrong. Oh, it was Meniere's disease. Um, we kind of use it as a crutch or use it as a, type of thing. So just, maybe try to see things through someone else's eyes. You might understand a little bit better. And I know there are a chunk of people out there that are just assholes. They're assholes to people in the street. They're assholes to people in, at work. And they're assholes at all. They're just assholes. Okay. Selfish. They don't care and blah, 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 blah. And we get that everywhere. Okay. But, for the most part, try to understand what your spouse or your family's is is going through as well as you because their life's changed too. I think that's the thing we really don't get. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great night. Take care.